The rain hammered against the windows of our cottage in the Cotswolds, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. For 20 years, our little stone house had been a sanctuary, a testament to the life Anna and I had built together. Now it felt like a prison. I'm Geraint, 46, a landscape artist. Anna, my wife, ran a small but successful catering business, providing food for local events and weddings. We were the envy of our small village, or so I thought. It started subtly, a shift in Anna's routine. Late nights at the office, supposedly catching up on paperwork. Weekends spent networking at industry events. I, naive fool, never suspected a thing. I trusted her implicitly. Why wouldn't I? We were Geraint and Anna, a team, partners in life, or so I believed. The first real crack appeared during our anniversary trip to Venice. Anna was distant, preoccupied. She spent hours on her phone, whispering in hushed tones. When I asked who she was talking to, she'd snap, just work, Geraint. Can't a woman run a business without being interrogated? I brushed it off, attributing it to stress. Venice was supposed to be romantic, a rekindling of our love. Instead, it felt like a slow, agonizing burn. Back home, the distance widened. We barely spoke. Our meals were silent affairs, punctuated only by the clinking of cutlery. Our bed, once a haven of intimacy, became a cold, empty space. I tried to talk to her to understand what was wrong, but she always deflected, blaming it on her hectic schedule. Then came the discovery. A misplaced receipt in her purse. A romantic dinner for two at a swanky restaurant in Bath, miles away from any work event. The name on the receipt, Idris. My blood ran cold. Who was Idris? I confronted her that night, my voice trembling. Anna, who is Idris? She paled, her eyes darting around the room. Idris? I don't know anyone named Idris. The lie hung in the air, thick and suffocating. I grabbed the receipt, shoving it in her face. Don't lie to me. This is dated last week. You said you were at a catering conference. She crumbled then, tears streaming down her face. Okay, fine, it's a friend, a business contact, a friend you have romantic dinners with. A friend you lie to me about. My voice rose, fueled by anger and disbelief. She finally confessed, the words spilling out in a torrent of guilt and desperation. Idris was a chef she'd met at a food festival. They'd been having an affair for months. She claimed it was a mistake, a moment of weakness. She swore it meant nothing, but the words rang hollow. The trust was shattered, the foundation of our marriage crumbled to dust. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut, the air knocked out of me. My world, my life, everything I thought I knew was a lie. I spent the next few days in a daze, wandering around the cottage like a ghost. Every object, every photograph, every memory was tainted by her betrayal. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. The pain was a constant, gnawing ache in my chest. Our friends, Caius and Meredith, noticed something was wrong. They'd been our closest companions for years, sharing countless meals, holidays, and milestones. I confided in Caius, pouring out my heart, my voice cracking with emotion. Caius listened patiently, his face etched with concern. When I finished, he put a hand on my shoulder, his grip firm and reassuring. Geraint, I am so sorry. You don't deserve this. Meredith, ever the pragmatist, offered practical advice. You need to protect yourself, Geraint. See a lawyer. Find out what your options are. I took their advice, consulting a solicitor in Gloucester. The legal process was daunting, a maze of paperwork and jargon. But it was also empowering, a way to take control of a situation that felt utterly out of my hands. Meanwhile, I started digging. I needed to know everything about Idris. Who was he? What did he want? Why was he so willing to destroy my marriage? It didn't take long to uncover the truth. Idris wasn't just a chef. He was a notorious womanizer, a charmer who preyed on vulnerable women. He had a string of broken relationships in his wake, each one ending in heartbreak and financial ruin. I found social media posts from his exes, detailing his manipulative tactics, his lies, his empty promises. He was a predator, a master of deception. And Anna had fallen for his act. The anger surged back, hotter and fiercer than before. I wasn't just hurt, I was furious. Furious at Anna for her betrayal, furious at Idris for his predatory behavior, and furious at myself for being so blind. I decided I couldn't let Idris get away with it. He needed to be exposed, his lies revealed. I contacted one of his exes, a woman named Lowry who lived in Bristol. She was hesitant at first, afraid of reliving the pain. But when I told her about Anorin, about the devastation he'd caused, she agreed to help. Together, Lori and I hatched a plan. We gathered evidence, compiling a dossier of his lies and manipulations. We created a website exposing his true nature to the world. We alerted the local media, sharing our story with a reporter from the Gloucestershire Echo. The article was published a week later, sending shockwaves through our community. Idris' reputation was ruined. His business crumbled. He was ostracized by his peers. Anorin was devastated. She confronted me, accusing me of trying to destroy her life. But I stood my ground. You destroyed our life, Anorin. You made your choices. Now you have to live with the consequences. The divorce was messy and painful. There were arguments over assets, accusations of infidelity, and endless legal wrangling. But I refused to back down. I deserved justice, and I was determined to get it. In the end, I emerged from the wreckage battered but not broken. I kept the cottage my sanctuary. I rebuilt my life, focusing on my art, my friends, and my own well-being. Anorin moved to Cardiff. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she was struggling, working as a waitress in a small cafe. Idris had moved on to his next victim, leaving her heartbroken and alone. I didn't feel any satisfaction, only a profound sense of sadness. Sadness for what we had lost, sadness for the pain we had inflicted on each other, and sadness for the wasted years. One day, a few years later, I received a letter. It was from Anorin. She apologized for her actions, acknowledging the pain she had caused. She admitted that she had made a terrible mistake, one that she would regret for the rest of her life. She didn't ask for forgiveness, only understanding. She said she hoped that one day I could find peace. I read the letter several times, tears blurring the words. I didn't know if I could ever forgive her, but I realized that I had already found peace. I had moved on, rebuilt my life, and found happiness again. A few months later, I met someone new. Her name was Alwyn, a vibrant and intelligent woman who shared my passion for art and nature. We fell in love, slowly and cautiously, building a relationship based on trust and honesty. Alwyn helped me to heal, to move past the pain of the past. She showed me that it was possible to love again, to trust again, to find happiness again. One sunny afternoon, as we strolled through the lavender fields near Snowshill, Alwyn turned to me, her eyes sparkling. "Geraint," she said, "I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you." I smiled, taking her hand in mine. "I love you too, Alwyn." More than words can say. We were married the following spring, in a small ceremony in our garden. Caius and Meredith were there, along with a few close friends and family members. As I looked at Alwyn standing beside me, radiant in her white dress, I knew that I had finally found my happy ending. The rain still falls on the cottage in the Cotswolds, but now it sounds like a gentle lullaby, a reminder of the storms I have weathered and the peace I have found. Anorin's betrayal was a dark chapter in my life, but it also taught me valuable lessons about love, loss, and the resilience of the human spirit. And it led me to Alwyn, the woman who showed me that even after the deepest betrayal, it is possible to find love and happiness again.